that this chapter has two angles to it. The first one is preceding the people memorize, or the people of the Qur'an, putting them forth in different matters and affairs. So the first evidences that he mentions, the first three evidences he mentioned regarding that aspect, taqdeemahum, for putting them forth and preceding them in different matters. The last hadith of this chapter is regarding ikramihim, is regarding honoring them. So the first narration mentions, he says, وَكَانَ الْقُرَّاءُ أَصْحَابَ مَجْلِسِ عُمَرَ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ كُهُولًا كَانُوا أَوْ شُبَّانًا. That the companions, the كَانَ الْقُرَّاء, and we'll come to understand what al-Qurra means, they were the companions of the sitting of Umar radiallahu anhu, kuhulan, whether they were in age, as we'll come to know, kuhul is either from the age of 33 to 50, or from 30 and above to 40. Aw shubbana, or younger than the age of 30. And it comes from Masud radiallahu anhu that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, يَعُمُّ الْقَوْمَ أَقْرَأُهُمْ لِكِتَابِ اللَّهِ, that the one who leads the people is the one who memorized the most of the book of Allah. فَإِنْ كَانُوا فِي الْقِرَاءَةِ سَوَاء, if they are in recitation or memorization the same, فَأَعْلَمُهُمْ بِالسُّنَّةِ, then the one who knows the sunnah the most amongst them. فَإِنْ كَانُوا فِي السُّنَّةِ سَوَاء, if they are the same in regards to the sunnah, فَأَقْدَمُهُمْ هِجْرَةً, then the one who precedes them in regards to migration. فَإِنْ كَانُوا فِي الْهِجْرَةِ سَوَاء, if they are the same in regards to migration, فَأَقْدَمُهُمْ سِنًّا, then the one who is eldest amongst them. And another riwayah, silman, meaning in Islam, the one who precedes them in Islam. وَلَا يُؤْمَنَّ الرَّجُلَ فِي سُلْطَانِهِ, and one should not lead another man in regards to his sultan, that which he owns, meaning from in his house. وَلَا يَقْعُدُ فِي بَيْتِ عَلَى تِكْرَمَتِهِ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ, and he should not sit on his couch or his sitting place except by his permission. And it comes in Bukhari and Jabir radiallahu anhu, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, أَنَّهُ كَانَ يَجْمَعُ بَيْنَ رَجُلَيْنِ, that he used to combine between two men, مِنْ قَتْلَ أُحُدٍ, between two Sahabas that died in Uhud, في ثوب واحد, in one garment, ثم يقول أيهما أكثر أخذا للقرآن, which of them memorized or took more of the Quran. فإذا أشير أحدهما, if it was pointed to one of them, قدمه في اللحد, he would precede them in burying them first. And it comes Abu Musa radiallahu anhu, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, إن من إجلال الله, from honoring Allah, إكرام ذي الشيبة المسلم, is giving honor to the elders of the Muslims. وحامل القرآن غير الغالي والجافي عنه, and the one who carries the Qur'an, meaning memorizes the Qur'an. Shaykh Abdul says, حامل القرآن, meaning the one who memorizes the Qur'an, غير الغالي والجافي عنه, without having extremism in regards to it and not being negligent towards it. وإكرام ذي السلطان, and honoring the Sultan al-Muqsit, the just leader. Hadith, and this hadith is authentic as well. So باب ما جاء في تقديم أهل القرآن وإكرامهم, this chapter also enters in regards to the virtues of those who carry the Qur'an. And this is preceded from other chapters due to showing that the people of the members of the Qur'an, the companions of the Qur'an, they are preceded in different affairs. They are put forth. And how they are honored. And that honor does not have anything to do with regard to their lineage or their status, or whether they are rich or they are poor, or they are elder or they are younger, or whether they are black or white, or whether they are healthy or not, and whether they have body parts or not. Because as we mentioned, some of the Salaf, some of their body parts had some kind of deficiency in regards to it. They were deficient in some of the aspects of their own body. It does not have anything to do with that, but rather regards to the one who memorizes the Qur'an and acts in accordance to it and reads it often. Al-Qurra, as mentioned in the narration of Umar, they are the scholars of Fuqaha, and Al-Ubbad al-Salihun. It's mentioned here that they are the scholars and the worshippers, the righteous ones. Umar radiallahu an, what is his kunya? Anyone know? Abu Hafs. Khattab radiallahu an al-Qurashi. He is a companion of the Prophet ﷺ and the one who he loved. And he was the Khalifa of the Prophet ﷺ. And he is one by whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored al-Islam and defeated by it and humiliated those who worshipped idols. He is one that 10 are granted Jannah, and his kunya was, or his al-laqab was Al-Faruq. Al-laqab Al-Faruq. And he was one that the shaitan would run away from him. And he was the first one that they said was given the name Amir al-Mu'mineen. They say he was the first one to be given the nickname Amir al-Mu'mineen. And he made hijrah to Medina before the Prophet ﷺ. And he was one who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened up many lands at his time. And he was just, and he was a worshipper, and he was one who was aesthetic and in many virtues. He fought in the war of Badr and Uhud, and all of them with the Prophet ﷺ. And he was killed as a shaheed, radiallahu an. Anyone know the name of the man who killed him? Abu Lu'lu al-Majusi. Abu Lu'lu al-Majusi killed him. Whilst what was Umar doing? He killed him. Umar was doing what? He was leading salat. He was praying, leading the salat of Fajr, Yawm al-Arbi'a. He was leading salat al-Fajr on Wednesday, in the last part of Dhul Hijjah, in the year 23 from the Hijrah calendar. And he died at the age of 63. He died at the age of 63, and he was buried beside his companion Muhammad sallallahu and Abu Bakr radiallahu anh. And just by benefit, they say that Abu Bakr is also passed away at the age of 63, and the Messenger of Allah sallallahu passed away at the age of 63. Kuhulan, meaning that they increased upon their over the age of 30 to 40, and some of them said from the age of 33 to the age of completing 50. Shubbana, meaning that which is under the age of kuhul, that which is under the age of 30. And the Shaykh mentioned that this shows that knowledge is not specified to one who is older in age, and is not specified to those who have fusaha, those who are eloquent in speech and like this, but rather the one who gains knowledge, he is considered from the people of knowledge, whether he is young or old, or whether he is a male or female. Whether he is a male or female. Now it comes from Ali Madini rahimahullah, and other than him, إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ لَيْسَ بِالسِّنِّ, that knowledge has nothing to do with age. إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ لَيْسَ بِالسِّنِّ, that knowledge has nothing to do with age. He mentioned a story here that in the time of Umar Abdul Aziz rahimahullah, some delegates came to him, and from them was the delegates of Al-Hijaz. And so a young man, he stepped forth and he started to speak, and he was the youngest amongst the people. So Umar ibn Abdul Aziz said to him, there's people who are more older than you that have more right to speak. So this young man said, Astahallah Amir al-Mu'mineen, Innama al-Mar, that is, indeed the man with his young age is considered young if his heart and his tongue is young. But if Allah grants him a tongue that articulates well and a heart that memorizes well, then he has due right to speak, and those who hear his speech will know his virtue. And he says, وَلَوْ أَنَّ الْأَمْرِ يَعْمِلْ مُؤْمِنِينَ بِالسِّنِّ لَكَانَ فِي الْأُمَّةِ مَنْ هُوَ حَقَّ مِنْكَ بِمَجْلِسِكَ هَذَا. If the matter went back to the age, and having old age, that those who are preceded always have old age, then there's people in the ummah that have more rights in regards to your sitting than you. Then he mentions that Umar Abdul Aziz said, you told the truth, speak what you want to say. So he gave a speech, and at the end of it he said that Umar Abdul Aziz asked him that, what is your age? And the young man, he said, he's 11 years old. And then he asked him regarding his lineage, and at that time he realized he was the son of Al-Husayn ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu. This young man was the son of Husayn ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. And for that, and then Umar radiallahu anhu said, تَعَلَّمْ فَلَيْسَ الْمَرُ يُولِدْ عَالِمًا, that learned, for indeed a man is not born a scholar. وَلَيْسَ أَخُ عِلْمٍ كَمَنْ هُوَ جَاهِلُ, for indeed the one who is the brother of knowledge, meaning has attained knowledge, is not like the one who is ignorant. وَإِنَّ كَبِيرَ الْقَوْمِ لَا عِلْمَ عِنْدَهُ, and indeed the man who is elder and has no knowledge with him, صَغِيرٌ إِذَا الْتَفَتَ عَلَيْهِ الْمَحَافِلُ, he is considered young when the people of big crowds turn towards him. And this is a benefit now, because you'll find some brothers, may they correct their affairs, when you try to benefit them with something, they say, but Shaykh so-and-so is older. Although that Shaykh may be wrong, but just because he is older, he is considered right. And this is not right. إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ لَيْسَ بِالسِّنِّ. Perhaps a younger man, in regards to knowledge, has more knowledge than one who's older. If it was based upon being elder and one's age, then there's something that, as he mentioned here, does not go back to that. As for the first hadith, it comes from Abi Mas'ud, and he is Uqba ibn Amr al-Ansari al-Badri. He witnessed the second Bay'ah al-Aqaba, and he witnessed Uhud, and that which comes after it from the wars. And he narrated many hadith from the Prophet ﷺ, and he passed away in Al-Kufa before the year 40 after the Hijrah. Akra'uhum, meaning the one who memorized the most amongst them, and he is proficient in his recitation, it does not mean here the one who is more knowledgeable amongst them. According to the correct stance, and this is the stance of Ibn Sirin, Al-Thawri, is Sufyan Al-Thawri, Imam Ahmad, and the people of opinion. Whereas some scholars, they actually went towards that the one who has more knowledge, he is put forth. And the evidence they use is that the Prophet put forth Abu Bakr radiallahu anh. The Prophet put forth Abu Bakr, and he was not the one who memorized the most amongst them, they say. So for that reason, he put him forth because he's the most knowledgeable amongst them. Now, this is answered by saying that the reason why Abu Bakr was put forth, showing that he was going to be the Khalifa after the Prophet ﷺ. So this is not evidence in reality. So what is considered Aqra is the one who memorized the most amongst them, and the one who is proficient in recitation, with the condition that he knows how to pray and the rulings of prayer. With the condition that he knows how to pray and the rulings of prayer. Now let's say we have someone who memorizes the most amongst us, but does not know how to pray Salah properly. He is not put forth. He is not put forth. And from that which shows that is Amr ibn Salima, that he used to pray with the people in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. He used to lead them whilst he was the age of 6 or 7 years old, and he was not considered the most knowledgeable amongst them, but he used to lead them in the prayer. فإن كانوا في القراءة سواء, meaning if they're similar in memorization and proficiency, then the one who knows the Sunnah the most is put forth amongst them. And the Sunnah is that which comes from the Prophet ﷺ, قولا أو فعلا, statements or actions, أمرا أو نهيا, whether that be a command or prohibition, تركا أو تقريرا, whether something left off, or تقريرا or approval of the Prophet ﷺ. Someone may ask, tarkan, what is intended by leaving something off? From the evidences they use for that is the hadith of Jabir radiallahu anh, that there was no adhan wala iqama for Salatul Eid. The Prophet left off the adhan and the iqama for the Eid prayer. That is, the Prophet left it off while he was able to do it. So it's called tarkan. From the sunnah of the Prophet not to give adhan and iqama for Salatul Eid. And taqreeran as approval, and then some of them they mention as approval, something which occurred in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and he didn't prohibit from it. And if someone may say that he did not know about it, then Allah Azza wa Jalla was aware of it, and he would have made the person know about it if it was something haram. As it comes to Sahaba, كُنَّا نَعْزِلْ وَالْقُرْآنِ يَنزِلْ. كُنَّا نَعْزِلْ, during intercourse, we used to not want to, what's the proper word for it? Coitus interruptus. That's a better way of saying it, since there's withdrawal during marital relations. Withdrawal during marital relations, كُنَّا نَعْزِلْ وَالْقُرْآنِ يَنزِلْ. The Qur'an was coming down, and the Prophet didn't prohibit from it. So this is taqreeran. And that which comes in the hadith, the hadith فَعَلَهُمْ بِالسُنَّةِ, meaning in regards to knowledge which comes from the Prophet ﷺ generally. If not, then فَأَقْدَمُهُمْ hijrah, those who are preceded in regards to migration, meaning from the land of Islam, or before Mecca was opened up, migrating from it. فَأَقْدَمُهُمْ سِنًّا, or silman, meaning the one who's old in age, or preceded in regards to Islam. Now this is a benefit here, this hadith, it does not go back to, as some of the people nowadays misunderstand, regards to people's beard sizes. You find in some masajid, it goes back to the fear of one's beard size. And from that which is saddening, is that some of our people, the Afghans, in their own masajid, you cannot give the adhan if your beard is smaller than the other man. And it doesn't go back to these affairs, rather it goes back to knowledge and taqwa, and the affairs of the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned in this hadith. وَلَا يُؤْمَنَّ الرَّجُلْ فِي سُلْطَانِهِ, mean that the man, the person of the house, or the person of the sitting, he is the one who has most right to lead the salah. He has the most right to lead the salah. And one should not lead, it is not permissible for him to lead unless he is given permission by that person. Fi sultane means the one who is in charge of the land, or the imam of the masjid, or other than that, the one who is in charge of a house, or like this. The second hadith, it comes from Jabir radiallahu anhu, and he is Ibn Abdullah, Ibn Amr, Ibn Haram, Ibn Tha'lab al-Ansari, al-Salami, al-Khazraji, a companion, son of a companion radiallahu anhuma. And he narrated many hadith from the Prophet ﷺ, as we mentioned, he narrated more than 1,000 hadith. Jabir Abdullah radiallahu anhu. And he died in Medina after the year 70 after the Hijrah, at the age of 94 years old. At the age of 94 years old. And that hadith shows us that the one who memorizes the most Qur'an, he is preceded even in regards to the matter of the grave. If we cannot find enough graves to bury the Muslims all by themselves, then we're in that case, it's a must for us to bury two in one grave. Then the one who memorized the most is put forth. He is preceded. The third hadith, the last one, is the hadith of Abu Musa radiallahu anh. And he is Abdullah ibn Qais al-Ash'ari al-Yamani, Sahabi of the Prophet ﷺ. He migrated both migrations. And he came to the Prophet ﷺ while he was in Khaybar. And all the wars after Khaybar, he witnessed them. He narrated many hadith from the Prophet ﷺ. And anyone know what he is well known for? Abu Musa al-Ash'ari is well known for something which the Prophet mentioned regarding him. Anyone know? His beautiful voice and recitation. When the Prophet heard him recite, he said, لَقَدْ أُوتِيتَ مِزْمَارٍ مِنْ مَزَامِيرِ عَلِي دَاوُدَ. He was given a very beautiful recitation. And he was a man, they say he was very courageous, and he was put in charge of many lands. And they say he passed away in the year 50 after the Hijrah. Now, ikram the shayb al-Muslim, honoring the elderly from the Muslim, those who are shayba, elderly, meaning to honor them in putting them forth in the majalis, the sittings, being kind towards them and gentle towards them, and having manners when speaking to them. So from the honor of the elderly one in Islam is you honor them. You speak to them lightly and nice words, and you are kind to them. Hamil al-Qur'an, mean the one who memorizes the Qur'an. Or the one who recites it, or the one who does tafsir of it, or the one who pays concern towards it. Al-Ghali fi, the one who, because it comes to the hadith that the one who is Al-Ghali fi, the one who goes extreme regards the Qur'an. Shaykh Abdul Al-Badri mentions the best example, those who go in extreme regarding the Qur'an, the Khawarij. And he mentioned from Abu Ubaid Qasim Salam, he said, Al-Ghali fi huwa al-mufarrid fi ittiba'ih, that the one who goes extreme regarding the Qur'an is the one who goes extreme in following it. حَتَّى يَخْرُجُوا إِلَى أَكْفَارِ النَّاسِ, until it leads him to declaring Muslims to be disbelievers. مثل الخوارج, like the Khawarij. وَالْجَافِي عَنْ, and the one who's negligent regarding the Qur'an is the one who puts to waste or puts to loss its limits, does not follow the limits of the Qur'an. But here the Shaykh mentions that Al-Ghali fi is more general than that as well, whereas it includes those who go extreme regard to acting regarding the Qur'an, or those who go into extreme regarding its meanings, or even those who go into extreme regarding its recitation, found the different makharij and recitation of it, or reciting it in a musical tone. That's also extreme, going to extreme regarding the Qur'an. As for Al-Jafi, the one who is negligent regarding the Qur'an, does not give it its due right, then is the one who has left it off and turns away from its recitation and following the rulings of the Qur'an and pondering over it. So in this hadith is a warning from going extreme regarding the Qur'an and leaving it alone and being negligent towards it. Both of them are dispraiseworthy. Rather, what is praiseworthy is that one is in the middle. He gives the Qur'an its due right and is not going to extremes regarding it. And the Prophet said, Al-Qas tablughu, that be in the middle, take the middle path and you'll reach. And he said, Alaykum hadiyan qasidan, upon you is the guidance which is qasidan, meaning in the middle, upright, without having the extremism or negligence. Now, ikram the sultan al-muqsid, that the sultan, the leader who is adil, just, meaning just in his rulings, and is considered just if him being just over is above or is more than him being unjust. He is considered to be just. Now, there's a benefit here. The Shaykh mentions that to be just and honor the ruler, from it is to preserve his status amongst the people, and to show his status amongst the people. And with that, there will be complete safety, and it will spread, and the land will be safe. But if nowadays, as well-known people speak about the ruler, and what has occurred now, we all know what has occurred to the different Muslim lands, from safk al-dima, from the blood becoming white, the blood being shed, and the honors being taken away, and other than that. And the enemies overpower the Muslims. So if a ruler is there, then you show honor to him. And with that, the people will show honor to him. If you speak bad about the manabir, if you battle in different sittings, the people will belittle him. And they will not have any honor for him. So whatever he says, they will not pay attention towards it. Now, at the end he says, Hadithun Hasan. And the Shaykh here describes what a Hadith Hasan is. We just mentioned the simplified version. Is a Hadithun Hasan is same as a Hadithun Sahih, except that the Ruwat have Khifatul Dab. That the Ruwat, the precision is lighter than those of the narration of Sahih. And then we'll end off with this. He says, Rawahu Abu Dawood, and he is Sulaiman ibn al-Ash'ath as-Sijistani, Imam al-Hafiz. And from the books he wrote was called, what's the book he wrote? What's the book he wrote? Sunnah Abi Dawood. Sunnah Abi Dawood. So he's one of the 6 books of Hadith. One of the 6 books of Hadith is his book. And what are the 6 books of Hadith? The first one is? And then? La. Tirmidhi is one of them, but if you want to go in order, they mention Abu Dawood is third, some of them. And then, some of them precede Nasa'i upon Abu Dawood. So then Nasa'i. And then the Tirmidhi and Ibn Majah. And some of them they differ regarding order. But these are 6 books of Hadith. Bukhari, Muslim, Abu Dawood, and Sunan Nasa'i, Jami' al-Tirmidhi, and Sunan Ibn Majah. These are 6 books of Hadith. So inshallah we'll stop with this. If there's any question, we'll take it now. If not, we'll let Brother Faisal start his class. Yes.
So this Hadith, is it based on most authentic, least authentic?
Based on those who are most authentic, according to some of the scholars. They mentioned the Abu Dawood and Nasa'i. They differ regarding those two. Then Tirmidhi and then Ibn Majah.
You mentioned the most يؤم القوم أقرأهم means
Who memorize the most amongst them, yeah.
who held that opinion? Ibn Sirin,
Ibn Sirin, Sufyan al-Thawri, and Ashab al-Ra'i, the people of opinion.
and who held
The other ones that held the other opinion from them was the Shafi'i, Ata, Malik, Al-Awza'i, and Abu Thawr. So Ata, Malik, Al-Awza'i, Al-Shafi'i, and Abu Thawr. And Ahmed held the first opinion. Yes.
What's the name of Abi Mas'ud?
Abi Mas'ud, Uqbah. Uqbah ibn Amr al-Ansari.
where can I find the reference for
It's called in Jami' al-Bayan al-Ilm wa Fadlih. Abi Abdul rahimahullah. Any other questions? Yes. No, it just means generally those who are most knowledgeable regarding Sunnah, whether memorization or understanding of it. Any other questions? Inshallah, we'll stop with this and our brother Faisal will do his class. Jazakumullah khair.